Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing the fastest possible look at Arc Raiders. It's that new extraction shooter from Embark Studios, launches October 30th.
That's right.
So our goal here is just to break down what makes it tick, the core stuff and anything kind of unique they're doing.
Okay, so setting the scene, you're a raider. You live underground in Speranza because, well, the surface isn't great.
Right.
You're fighting these things called arc machines, robots, basically sent by rich folks living it up on Mars.
The classic space elite trope.
Yeah.
And the gameplay loop, Extraction Shooter 101.
Pretty much. High stakes. You go out, grab loot, try desperately to get back to base, die out there.
You lose it all. Gear, loot, everything. That's the core pressure, right?
Yeah.
Makes every single run feel heavy.
Totally. And you're not just grabbing random junk. The maps have these colored squares, yellow for medium difficulty loot areas, red for high risk.
So you target specific stuff, like meds or electrical parts.
Exactly. And you do this across, 5 known maps now? Places like the Dam Battleground, which is all swampy and huge, or the Buried City that's covered in, red sand.
Okay, let's dig into the actual gameplay then. A match is 30 minutes long, but I heard players can jump in late, up to the 18-minute mark.
Yeah, that's a key thing. It means the map state is always shifting. You can never quite settle because new threats, player threats, could appear quite deep into a run.
Makes sense. So how's the combat itself? They're saying best-in-class third-person shooting.
It feels really solid, but the interesting choice is the TTK, the time to kill, specifically in PvP. It's deliberately long.
Why is that? To soften the blow of losing everything.
Precisely. They don't want you losing, potentially hours of progress just because someone got a lucky snipe off from miles away.
Right.
It avoids that really frustrating one-shot death feeling.
Which is smart, especially if, as I understand it, fighting other players isn't even the main focus.
Correct. PvP happens, sure, but the real core challenge, the thing that'll likely end your run most often, is the PvE, the arc machines.
So the robots are the main obstacle. How good is the AI?
Apparently really good. They described it as persistent, intelligent, skill-based. They don't just spawn and attack. They seem to coordinate, hunt you, remember things. They shape the whole experience.
Okay, that sounds intense. But are there smaller things, like quality of life features, to help you cope?
Yeah, loads actually. Sound design is huge. Footsteps, ambient sounds like birds, even elevators activating. It's all crucial information. Gives you warnings, helps with immersion.
Any other little details?
Well, there are these small moments of victory. Like if you go down, you might still be able to trigger an elevator call.
Oh, so your loot gets saved even if you don't make it.
Exactly. And they even encourage being friendly sometimes. Like if your inventory's full, proximity chat might let you coordinate with another player to help them extract safely. Little things like that.
Right, right. So all this loot you risk your neck for, it fuels the crafting back at base.
Yep, that's the loop. Materials you find let you craft everything. Weapons, ammo, sure, but also utility stuff like zip lines or even devices that cloak you from the arc machines.
Anything particularly valuable to craft or find?
Well, there's this item, the Raider Hatch Key. Super valuable because it lets you use more extraction points, these exfil locations, making it quicker and maybe safer to get out.
Gotcha. Okay, let's talk progression then. This seems like the really crucial piece, especially for long-term play. Extraction shooters always grapple with wipes, right? Resetting everyone.
Yeah, the dreaded wipe. It's often necessary to stop players getting way too powerful and breaking the economy, but it can also drive players away.
So how does Arc Raiders handle it? I heard it's different.
It is. It's tied into the story, into the narrative. It's called the Expedition Project. Once your raider hits level 20, you get this option.
An option, not mandatory.
Exactly. You can choose to complete certain objectives to essentially extract your character permanently to a new area. This acts as a prestige wipe.
So choosing this wipes your inventory, your skill tree, everything.
Correct. But in return, you get rewards. Cosmetics, maybe temporary buffs, maybe even permanent ones for future characters. It's a full reset, but voluntary and rewarding.
That sounds quite clever, actually. It lets casual players keep their hard-earned gear if they want.
Right. But it also gives the hardcore players, the ones who need that reset to stay engaged or avoid getting bored, a way to do it that feels meaningful within the game's world. It doesn't force everyone onto the same reset schedule.
Okay, wrapping this up then. What about the practical stuff for someone looking to jump in? Price. Monetization.
It's launching at $40, which, like Helldivers 2, seems partly positioned to act as a bit of a barrier against cheaters. In a game this high stakes, cheating is a massive problem.
Makes sense. Pay-to-win concerns.
None apparent. They've been clear. The Raider deck, their battle pass, and the item shop are purely cosmetic. No gameplay advantages for sale.
And the hype seems real. I saw some big numbers from their tests.
Yeah, the Server Slam event peaked at, 189,000 concurrent players, so there's definitely massive interest out there.
Okay, so final thought then. They've tied their progression reset, this optional prestige wipe, directly into the narrative, the poor surface dwellers escaping, basically. How vital do you think linking mechanics like that to the story is for keeping players invested long-term in these kinds of high-stakes games?
That's a great question. Does that narrative hook make the grind, the risk, the potential reset feel more purposeful?
Something for you all to chew on as you get ready to raid. That's our deep dive for today.